Good morning. Welcome to my channel. Today is the 1st of October 2025, and we are working on a new project, Sampler Quaker Houses. How are you doing today? I am using what is called variegated thread, and it is a number 4240. And this is the thread, and I don't know what you can see because I can't see anything. Yeah, this is the thread. And we're going to see how it's going to work. This is the first project that I'm using the variegated thread on. And I am going to use the same thread for the whole project. Now, let's see if we can get you focused. I have absolutely no room on my desk. Totally. Yeah, my camera does not like that. But there's a slight issue of me wanting to see what I'm doing. You know, it is helpful at times. Now, let's see. Okay, just continue here. Now, let me see if I have, yeah, it's the fall and I have no voice. Not that I have voice at any other time, but okay, I have marked that off on my chart. Excuse me. I don't know what my next door neighbor is building, but I swear one of these days they're going to be waving at me through the wall. Oh, I started this early, so maybe they won't start up their power drill or whatever the hell it is that they make the noise with. Seriously, I really don't know what they're doing there, but they're always drilling something. Can't be a tunnel because we're not on the bottom floor, we're on the first floor. You know, in Hungary you have a floor and then you have the first floor. Yeah, well, it's the way it goes. So we have decided to build a house on the lot next to the village house, the second village house. You know, there's an old village house that is occupied by 2 tenants. And then we have the village house that you saw on the videos. And there's a huge lot next to it. Right now it serves as our vegetable and fruit garden. And we decided to build another house on it. And we still have plenty of room for, you know, for the garden, because it is a huge lot. And more than likely, I am not sure we will able to buy the, well, right now they're using it to grow vegetables, but there's another lot behind our lot. It's about half as large as our lot. And so we can connect it to our properties. That would be nice. To buy that too, and then the whole property will go up to the back neighbor's property. So half of it for sure we can buy, but we want the whole thing. So it will go across the back of the lot that we are going to build on. And we're having, well, the owner is being unreasonable. And there's a limit as to how much unreasonableness, is there such a word as unreasonableness? Yeah, well, we're not willing to put up with too much unreasonability. Oh yeah, that's murder the English language. Okay. Well, anyway, bottom line is lower their prices because it's really not worth what they're asking for. And we do know the worth of property. We never build anything unless the lot is ours first. Do take note. If the land is not yours, you may build a house, that's yours, but they can tell you to get off the land. And then what you going to do? You can't pack up a house. You can move a house, but I'd rather not go that route. This is the way we do it all the time. I have to mark off what I just stitched. And it seems to work for us. And then I have to go 3 and 3. 3, skip 1, and then go 3. Okay. There we go. So this it looks like it's the top stem of, now wait. I have to skip 2, not 1. 1, 2, no, 1, 2, okay. And then I'm supposed to be at the line right here. Yeah. This looks like a very good pattern. I have no idea where I got it from. I would like to know where I got it from because probably on Etsy or something like that. Yeah, when you're not paying attention, you get knots. And I still have a knot. And I still have a knot. Wait. Let me clean this out. Okay. Come on. There we go. I haven't had too much problem. The quality of this thread could be better. I really don't know where I ordered it from since I ordered from so many places. Wherever I can find it, This is Hungary. I did see some better quality thread and stuff, but the shipping costs are so high, and then skip 2, that I'm not willing to go that route, just not yet. I am going to wait until things get normalized. We are hoping for this little to-do next door in Ukraine to be over, but winter's coming. It's already 7 degrees Celsius outside. So the furnace kicks in automatically. When inside the house goes below 24 centigrade, it kicks in. Now during the winter, because we do have a little man, we keep it on 26 degrees centigrade. That seems to be the most comfortable. It is well insulated. Now the walls separating the flats are very thin, but the outside wall, and of course there are double windows, um, so there's extra insulation as far as the windows go. And of course we do have heavy curtains and light curtains. Um, winter curtains and warm weather curtains, you know. We adjust to the weather. I do love our gas furnace, which also makes hot water, and it also heats the towel racks in the bathroom, so you get warm towels. Actually, that's the only heat in the bathroom is from the 16 towel racks that are on the wall, but it's very warm because the gas furnace is on the bathroom wall. It's a small one. Does an excellent job. And another plus, we always have hot water, whereas at the village house there's 200 liters in the hot water thing. And once that's gone, then you have to wait for the water to warm up again, which can take hours for all that water. It's an electric one. Here you can shower, bathe, wash dishes, everything, and there's always hot water. And I think it's more economical because you are not heating this huge amount of water, but only as much as you use. So I do think that probably this way we're using less gas. Yeah, it is very expensive, gas and electricity. And the water they raise also. But that includes the sewer. Charges. And we do have garbage charges for the trash to be taken 3 times a week. So Hungary definitely has everything in order. We have no problems here. There's a couple of marches, people have to march. But all in all, we don't have the problems that some of the major cities around us seem to be experiencing. We do have some people interfering in our government. I don't know when elections will be, but that's the usual scenario, before elections. We have all sorts of hype and promises and blah, 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 and the usual thing. I think it's the same in every country. No problems. The thing is, everything is under control and in order, which is very nice. Nothing is perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect, You can't please everybody. It just doesn't work like that. There would always be people that disagree. It's perfectly okay. Sometimes they have good ideas. Rarely, but they do. Honestly. And that's fine. We have freedom of speech. No one is going to knock on your door for what you posted or what you said, unless you're threatening somebody, or you're doing something totally stupid. Otherwise, sorry, I had a needle in my mouth. Hubby gets so angry. He goes, You have a whole bunch of needle minders. Why do you have to put the needle in your mouth? I think it's a habit, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, now I have to start 2/1, 2, right there. Stick the needle in. And we're doing a loop start. And I'm finishing any old way I do it. I don't go to the back of the work because, first of all, this is a 64 by something. So this is a big canvas. And it's on an 80 centimeter frame. So for me to take this off, flip it over, it's really not worth the bother. So I just finished the thread up on the front. It doesn't show. Actually, the back looks nice and neat so far. Until until I start jumping cross country. Okay, now I'm supposed to have 3 over here and then go all the way across. Okay, we're doing fine. This is what I mean. It's a nice clear pattern, although there's a lot of details. But it is not confusing. I would say it's a partial because we do not stitch the background, but the background is white. So I have learned it's really just a waste of time. Unless I really want to, finish the background with the white and I'm doing something very, very, very special. But I have learned that it's really not necessary, unless you have time to kill. Now that the new baby boy arrived in the family, so I was preparing for a girl, but it's a boy. Little man is not happy. He wanted a little girl to play with. Well, you can play with the little boy too. Once he gets big, he's very little now. You have to wait. Little man is finishing nursery school this year. And then next year he will go to primary school. It's amazing how rapidly time goes by, especially when a child is growing in your family. It's like he was just born. He was this tiny little baby, and now he's going to go to school. I mean, he's been in school since he was 3, that's the law of the land. He did miss quite a few days, with all the earache and tonsils and colds and what have you. I swear, kids in school are like a bacteria and virus factory. You name it, they catch it. And then they bring it home. And then everybody else catches it. Yep. So pretty soon we're going to be going into hibernation, for the cold weather. Although I do love, I love the fog. If you're going for a walk at night or early in the morning and there's fog, especially if it's a thick fog, it feels like I'm the only person on earth and the fog is like hugging me, like a blanket. Many people don't like it. We do have a river. I told you that. We have a big river. In the old days, they used to have shipping. Well, I don't know how big of a ship, but, boats and fishing and everything else on the river. But nowadays, well, because of pollution and everything else, the banks are pretty well built up. in the old days they used to have floodings. We still have floodings, but it stays in the area put aside for flooding. Yes. If you know your river is going to flood, pay attention. So there's no property damage and, catastrophe and all of that. Even on the Danube, the Danube runs right through the capital of Hungary. That's why Budapest is actually two cities. One is Buda and the other one is Pest. And the Danube runs in the middle, connected by beautiful bridges. And they still flood. There is actually an area that is depicted as the flood zone. And if you're going to build your weekend house or your vacation house there, you have to be prepared for the flood. So get them up on stilts, raise them up. Well, in the village property, there's a river over there too. Same river, Rabo. That's the one we have over here too. The ground is very wet. So you cannot build the first floor, ground level. You have to raise it up with at least 4 steps. And once you put down the concrete, for the base of the house, they tell you to wait a year to see how much it's going to sink because the ground is damp. But then once you do that, and of course you insulate properly on the bottom, you will have no problem with, wet or moldy or, this kind of problems when your walls. You have to know the nature of the ground that you are building on. If it's sandy, it may shift, it will still sink. Every base will sink to some level. So you have to count on that when you are, when they are pouring the bottom. The base with the house, make it at that much higher, taking into account the sinking. The other old house, well, it's an old family house. There might be tenants in. One corner of the house started sinking. I think it has something to do. When it was built, there was no running water inside of it and no bathroom. There was an outhouse. Of course, we upgraded it, brought in the gas, the water, changed the electricity, everything, modernized it. And it seems like the corner where the bathroom is, in the back of the house, that's the one that started sinking a bit. So I talked to the contractor and he said that what they want to do is dig under and then put in a layer of concrete to raise it up to the level that it's supposed to be on. And he said that should solve the problem. Also insulate more where the so-called water block is. That means the bathroom and the kitchen, where water runs. But then the house is heated with hot water, radiators. Whereas this flat where we are in, this is more modern. Of course, this was a brand new house when we moved in. This has gas heat and it is, hot air, actually. But the hot water goes through the radiators, but not like in the old house. It's a minimal amount, and it's 60 degrees centigrade, the water that circulates. So the radiators get very hot, which little man found out the hard way because he was running around naked, smashed against the radiator, and got a little bum burned, slightly. It was a little bit red, and he was going, ow, 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 hot. I go, Didn't I tell you not to run around naked? Yep. Next time you listen to Mama, and then you won't get your little bum burned. He went to nursery school and told his teacher that he got his little bottom cooked. I go, oh my God, what are you telling the woman? Did I make a boo-boo? 1, 2, 3. No, what happened is I did not mark it. Of course, if dummy doesn't mark it, then she wants to sew the same line all over again. And that's a no-no. That's definitely a mistake. Okay, now I have to go to right here, 1, 2. See how much I have learned from doing the Advent calendar? It's already on a frame, ready to be worked on, but I have to make some hats now for the little addition to our extended family, because we call our nanny family. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because she gave birth to a boy, and I only knitted for the girl. So quickly I will whip up a little hat and mittens because he's scratching his face all over. And I told the nanny, ask the nurse to get little mittens for his hands so he doesn't scratch himself all over. But last night I saw it, and he still did not have mittens on. Because they're not going to cut his nails yet. I guess she'll be let home on Saturday because she had to have another C-section. She was in labor for 24 hours and nothing happened. She was still at 1 centimeter. So the doctor said, we're not going to wait anymore. The baby's up too high. And, after a while, the mother and the baby gets tired, and it does get concerning for both of their health. So the doctor decided it's best to do a C-section again and get the baby out. Beautiful, perfect little boy, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, sparkling black eyes. He's got sort of a dark red curly hair. Mostly I think it's baby fuzz. He's going to lose that, and he's going to have brown hair, light brown or something like that. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful baby. Even if little man is not too thrilled that it's a boy. Actually, come on, he's just jealous. The nanny spoils him rotten. She lets him do anything he wants. And I am very strict. So when I discipline him, he goes, I'm telling Nanny on you. I go, what's Nanny going to do? Put me in a naughty corner? Actually, to be honest, little man was a monster. I mean, at age 2, he was a monster. I heard about the terrible twos, but this kid, and now I must say he's a little gentleman. He is absolutely no problem. Once in a while he gets into mischief, perfectly normal. But compared to what was, it's like it's a totally different kid. So take heart, mummies. Just because you have a little monster on your hand and age 2, you might be surprised what he turns out to be. Really, I used to refer to him as a little monster. I mean, there was no way on heaven or earth that that kid was going to cooperate or behave or anything else. And now all I have to do is talk to him, calmly, get down to his level and explain to him that we do not do this, we do not behave this way, and if you continue to do it, I will smack your little bottom. I do spank. That's not the same as beating the kid. So calm down. A little whack on his well-padded bottom is not going to, do him any harm. Now that is reserved for something that is very dangerous or it's a definite no-no, and he needs to understand that it's a no-no. Another thing, we live in an area under circumstances where obeying instructions might make the difference between keeping him safe or having him in a very harmful situation. So he needs to obey, and he needs to obey very fast for his own safety. And now he understands. No problem. I go, that's amazing. Actually, just, in confidence between us. There were many times that I was sitting on the floor together with him crying, like, what did I do wrong? And if someone would have told me this will pass, he is going to stop being a monster. It's just amazing. There's no problem with him in school. He's a polite little man. He has good manners. He behaves in a restaurant. He behaves if they take him, to official places, I told his teachers that he was a little monster, and she goes, he is such a little angel. And I'm looking, are you sure you're talking about the same kid? She's like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something right. I go, oh, thank you. I thought I was a total failure. Sometimes the mommies need a bit of encouragement. Well, he did pull down his pants and show the teacher, Mommy hit me on my bum. And I'm like, My little brother pulled that trick in America, They started teaching them, starting in kindergarten, if your mommy or daddy hits you, you need to call the police and you need to tell them that you're being beaten. Well, my little brother decided after he got a spanking that he's going to call the police because he got a spank. So my mother went to him, pulled down his bottom, slapped his bum one more time, and he goes, now go show the policeman. Take your pants off and go show the policeman. That's where you got hit. Well, he decided he's not going to. So that was the end of that. I don't know, I think he was sticking something in the plugs, the outlets, the electrical outlets in the wall. Very dangerous, and that's why he got smacked on the bottom. So he didn't get smacked for no reason, just for something that was extremely dangerous. And I think he was trying to electrocute one of his cars, something like that. He thought that if he hooks it up to the electrical outlet in a wall, then the car would turn into one of those battery operated, that goes by itself, but it will run on electricity. I mean, the kid had this logical thought, for a 5-year-old. Anyway, he was no genius. And seeing that and how dangerous it was, what he did, my mother smacked him on his well-padded little bottom. And since he was told what to do in school, he decided that he needs to call 911. And my mother showed him the telephone. Here's the 9 and here's the 11. And now you go show the policeman your bum where you got hit. And he decided, no. Like I keep on saying, there's a difference between beating a child and disciplining. The only time I hit little man's hand when he was also after the outlets. And one time he was reaching for the oven that was self-cleaning. And it would have really turned into a tragedy if he would have touched the walls of that hot oven. Probably would have burned the skin off his palms, so that was extremely dangerous. If you keep on spanking all the time for no reason, that it will have no effect. It needs to be reserved when nothing else works and there's something dangerous going on that needs to be stopped, and stopped immediately. Also, I don't scream and yell at him, only when he's doing something that's dangerous. If he doesn't stop at the intersection when I tell him to stop, I will scream, stop. And he understands, since mommy is screaming, it must be something, better do it. Because the cars are not going to always stop. So this is what I mean. It's amazing how a kid develops. When I was dealing with the little monster, I thought, I don't know. I'm going to take him to a psychologist or whatever. I'm going to get professional help because I'm doing something wrong. What's wrong with this kid? And it's amazing. He turned out so perfect. There's absolutely no problem with him whatsoever. And if someone would have told me that at that time, I would have said, "Oh, sir, you're nuts." Oh, after all, maybe I did do something right. Hang in there, mummies that have little monsters. It's gonna be okay. No one told me that. They just told me, "Oh, it's just a terrible tooth. He's okay." I go, "No, he's not." Well, I think when they invented the word terrible tools, I would describe it with a different description. Impossible tools. Yeah, right now it seems funny after we've been through it, but I'm telling you, I was sitting a few times on the floor together with him and crying. Like when he was born, after we brought him home, I mean, nighttime was for screaming at the top of your lungs. All day long. Not a peep out of him. From 7:30 at night until 2:30 in the morning, that kid was screaming. I'm like, that baby hates me. He wants to go back. He doesn't want to be in this world. Yeah, well, the taxi ride in the middle of the night and the kid is grinning from ear to ear. screaming bloody murder. The kid is dying, extremely sick. We get in a taxi and the kid is grinning from ear to ear. Do I feel stupid? Yep, I felt stupid. But since I thought, well, we're in a taxi, we might as well take him to the emergency room, see what his problem is. Oh, he was having fun. He was playing with the nurses, he was playing with the doctor. I said, honestly, he was screaming. Honest, I'm not kidding. They're sitting there like, is this your first? I go, yeah. Oh, that's okay. You'll get used to it. I go, can I leave him here? He pulled a few numbers on us, let me tell you. But really, he was crying so hard that I really thought he was in pain or he was sick or something was his problem. Well, the doctor goes, okay, every time the baby cries in the middle of the night, you don't have to call a taxi and take him for a ride. It's okay. And I'm standing there like, with a baby that's having fun. Yeah, as soon as he saw the taxi, he was happy. We're rather isolated here in Hungary. We don't have any extended family or anything around us, so I really didn't have, any wise sage grandmother or mother-in-law or anything else to sort of tell me, it's okay. It's fine. He's a baby. Don't worry. And you're trying to do everything perfect, and you read all these manuals, how you are supposed to raise the baby. And I took all of those books and threw them in the garbage can. And I figured it's best to go with my instincts. Seemed to work much better than all this professional advice that to me seemed totally worthless. That's what they're saying. They are blaming Dr. Spock for all the spoiled brats that are running around today. Well, I understand gentle parenting, but it can be taken to extreme. A child needs discipline. A child wants discipline because they will do things to test you. They're like saying, what do I have to do to make you stop me? Really, they do test. And you're like, oh no, that's just a little baby. They don't do things. Oh, yes, they do. They know which buttons to push. I am speaking now as a sage expert. All the mistakes you can make in a book I made. Yeah, we're laughing now. I thought the kid was going to wind up in junior detention or something. I mean, where'd you get this horrible child from? And I looked at my husband, I go, okay, who in your family is in detention because they don't behave? Now, my husband is the first of 10 children. You think, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see. Nope. let's try it in this hole. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, one there, and then skip two, one, two, and then let's go this way. So far, I have not made any mistake on this. Let's just keep it that way. And then skip three. And then we're going this way. Okay, perfect. It looks like I do have to thread my needle quite often. So I think I will continue with this, that I will thread, maybe I have 3 needles out here, thread them ahead of time so I can continue doing the work. I really don't know how long this will take me. It is a big project, but we are in no hurry. It will get done when it gets done, and it will be absolutely beautiful. Now, I did look at the frames, and I don't think, unless I do it customly framed, which I really don't want to spend that much money on it, I think I will turn it into a pillow. It will be quite a big size decoration pillow. That would be perfect, I think. Because I have plenty of pictures on the wall. You know, it's like I'm running out of walls. Because there's a utility room downstairs. Well, those walls are empty. I go, I'm not going to put my pictures in a utility room. Hush, don't give me any advice if that's all you can come up with. But I do have a mind to take off some of the diamond painting I have on the walls. Take out the holiday ones. You know, switch them around for Halloween and Christmas. And then put them like in groups of diamond painting pictures and groups of the cross stitch ones. Can I get that needle to come up? I really cut that rather short. Okay. We made good progress. Thank you very much for spending time with me this Wednesday morning. Stay safe, stay healthy, be happy. I will see you next time. Goodbye for now. Be happy. Do something just to cheer up yourself, even if it's taking a little walk, you know, watching some comedy or something like that. Lighten up your day. Bye for now. Mwah.